Okay, so we did it. We watched Elvis on tour. It's his 33rd movie. It's the last movie
Aw.
that he's accredited for doing. It's the
Is-
last movie he made while he was alive.
So is it over now?
No,
Oh.
it's
Okay.
not over.
All right.
Aren't you guys so happy? So just off the top, we're going to do a couple more that pertain to Elvis in his life and career. But this is the last actual movie that, if you looked up Elvis movies, this would be the last one. It is another documentary. It is documenting his time on the road, so you get to see what life on tour would be like, hence the name. This is 2 years later. It's 1972. He's been touring non-stop basically all this time. This particular tour, the one they set up, is 15 dates long. It's over, I think, just a 2-week period, maybe one a night, but it seems like when he's in Vegas, he did 3 shows a day, so that's pretty intense. But on tour, they might have just done the 1 show each night, but it was just a steady movement of shows. So right off the bat, would you like to talk about it? Why don't you tell him
You're doing a great job.
No, you tell him your impression of when the movie started.
You could tell he had gained a lot of weight, and that he didn't look lively. You know, he was looked drugged out.
Well, okay, so that's a little harsh. Well, it's a little harsh. I mean, he's definitely doesn't look his best, and so what we've been saying all along is, you know,
But he didn't have a brightness in his eyes. You know, he looked. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
He just looked.
So certainly probably drugs were involved, but he looks a little paler, and he's definitely heavier. He's not as heavy as most people think of when they think of Elvis, or the fat Elvis that they like to talk about. But this is definitely, we're seeing the starts of it. This is, his life has worn him down on this touring, and probably his dissatisfaction with the way that his career has been going. But he loves to sing, so this is what the most joy he gets is when he gets to get on stage, or more so when he gets to be after the show backstage singing with his friends and singing gospel songs, and you get to see a lot of it. So a sad part is you see a little bit of the beginning of the decline for Elvis, or at least the visual, because one thing that always carried him was his beauty, and that's kind of going a bit. Luckily, what you'll see is his voice never really gives out. That being said, he was much more informal here, so there are times where the singing is kind of interrupted a little bit with joking and playing and all, but this is really just an extension of That's the Way It Is, the previous movie. It's a good companion piece, but it is kind of the last note. It seemed like everyone knew that this was his last movie that he's going to make, and it feels a little bit like we got a few more movies to watch, and we're gonna end this on, I think it's 3 productions from now, 2 more movies and 1 concert. The last one we're gonna watch is called This Is Elvis, and it's a sort of retrospective documentary of his life. This movie feels very much like that movie is gonna feel like. They cover his early days. They do a little bit of the movies. He talks. He's got interview where you hear him talking. And interestingly, this movie ended with a montage to the song "Memory." So it kind of feels like it's the end of his life already. And ironically,
Song, though.
yeah, but ironically, it kind of was. We're really on the decline of what would be his end of his life. But that doesn't take away from the power of this film. Another ironic part is this is the only movie that Elvis made that won an award. It won a Golden Globe that year for Best Musical Documentary.
Wow, amazing.
So it's worth watching for sure. It's just it's just a little sad in the sense you just see the beginning of that decline. It's certainly not the only, the last of it, of his health. He's going to do the next thing we're going to watch is going to call Aloha from Hawaii. We'll talk more about what that was then, but he'll get himself a little bit more back in shape for that. But at this point in his life, he was having trouble staying in shape. It was something that was plaguing him during the movies. It's certainly going to plague him now, as all he's doing is grinding out concert after concert after concert for years until he just burns himself right on out. So, okay, so that's the movie. Any other comments before we rate it?
No.
What would you like to rate it?
4.
Why are you rating it 4?
Because I didn't find it to be as good as the last one.
That's very valid. There's a little
Well,
shine.
thank you very much.
I'm not validating your
Oh.
argument. I'm just saying to the audience that seems a fair assessment.
Okay.
Because some of the shine's off of the rose here,
Yeah.
or bloom off the rose, whatever the saying is. That all said, I do love the piece. I think it's a great historical document. It's definitely less than That's the Way It Is, but I don't know if I'm dropping to a 4 because there are some really great parts. It starts off, I mean, we did start off a little sad, but as the movie goes on, it picks up energy and picks up a lot more interest because you get to see a more intimate side of Elvis and the background of what it takes to run a concert. That's really the same comments I had with That's the Way It Is, but that was staged for a Las Vegas show. This is on tour, and when you see the audience is different, you're gonna go, holy crap. I mean, it's
a lot.
they pack these people in like sardines. I would absolutely not want to be in this concert hall, but they just pack them in. So I'm gonna stick with a 5. That way we can give it a 4.5. So take that.
All right.
So the next thing we're going to watch is the Aloha concert, because that's right at the top of 1973. So it's just in progression of his career. So it's not the movie, it's the telecast that went around the world. It was a big deal at the time. It was the first of its kind. And so we'll take a look at that and give you our thoughts on that next. So thanks for watching.
See ya.